So I have this Martha Stewart gesso, and I've never owned gesso before, but I'm assuming that this isn't one of the better ones, even though I love Martha Stewart's products. But I think that this stuff is probably thick for a gesso. I mean, it really cakes on, you know. And I imagine that most of them, from what it looks like when I watch people's videos, they're pretty thin. So, but I got it on clearance at Joann's, and it was like $2 or $3. And when I did look up reviews on it, the only bad reviews that people had was the price. So I didn't have that problem since I paid like $2 for it at Joann's about a year ago. But it was probably on clearance because Martha Stewart probably realized that she was putting her name on a pretty crappy product, unless they put it on clearance because it had been there a while and that's why it's behaving the way it is, which is very much possible. Takes a while, I mean, not too long, but it takes a little while to dry, a few minutes usually. So I guess I should just find another page and set that one off to dry. I have my signatures are like a mess in this thing right now. I'm trying to create a lot of writing space for myself because I do a lot of writing, but I also want pockets and things that I can, you know, stick stuff in from my day. I like this card right here. I have a whole bunch of these cards. They were actually drawn by Holocaust survivors, and it's all artwork from, I'm assuming it's from children and adults, because there are some, this picture right here is gorgeous, but I have a whole package of them, and I like it because they're nice and matte, so they don't create a very big, you know, glare. So hi Maddie, thanks for joining me. I'm just working on the signatures of my journal, and I'm adding gesso to some of the pages that are written on because I want to do a lot of writing. And the book that I'm using is a textbook, so I kept some of the original pages, you know, ones that had nice pictures, but there weren't many. This was a textbook that had some creepy illustrations in it. Very creepy looking people. Are you sure this is your first time? I thought you were with me last week when I was doing painty papers and my camera kept turning into a nightmare. Really? Oh man, I really hope I didn't just buy this new camera and come to find out it is definitely my internet. Because I'm not having any buffering problems on my screen. It shows my connection is good. Huh, I don't know why it would be buffering. I feel like I have a good connection right now. It doesn't seem to be, you know, I don't have any warnings popping up. Has it got any better? Hi, Jody. Is this buffering for you? Are you having problems with this video? Because I just bought this camera and Maddie in here seems having a problem. Okay, well, that's good. No sound. How was that? Let's see if I think I can microphone up. How's that? Okay, okay. You guys have sound. Do you have, am I buffering to anybody? Okay, all right. I mean, I know my autofocus is kind of going a little nuts. Let me try turning on another light. See if that works. I just got this webcam today, so I am sorry if with all the questions. I don't know if it's working because you know, it looks fine on my end, but it also, my phone looked fine last week when I was using my phone for this, and everybody else is having problems. So to give you guys a little bit of background on this journal, this one I'm making for myself, and I've never made myself a journal before because I'm very picky about what I write in and the pens that I use and stuff like that. So I took this textbook last week and I gutted it. Then I went a little nuts and I made like 550 signatures for it. So it was huge. I mean, it would have been huge. So I had to cut it way down. And I made very small signatures. They're all like, I don't know, 8 to 10 pages a piece. What, honey? Oh my goodness. Hold on. I got to bring Play-Doh out to the queen. I told her she could play with Play-Doh when I was doing this, but she didn't want it right then. So now I have to go bring the Play-Doh out. Don't stand up on the chair, please. Don't stand up on the chair. Here, honey. So it wasn't in the way. All right, so yeah, this was I got this textbook at Goodwill. They were having, you know, like some thrift stores, they get like an overabundance of books. So Goodwill had all hardcovers for $1, and I picked up 2 1970s textbooks. This was one of the ones I got. And I'm using it for my journal because I like the thickness of the cover. And some of the pages in it were pretty neat, but a lot of the pictures in it are like really creepy looking. So I don't know. I didn't use a lot of the pages in the book because it had some creepy looking people in it, I'll tell you. So how is everyone on this glorious Monday? What's everyone working on? Oh, I hear you, Amber. We were outside today. I spent the last 2 days melting outside because we're working on my shop, which is currently just the shell of a building. Yeah, I have one Goodwill in the city. They sell books for like 25 bucks. Like they had this, what's that guy's name? He does like the Saturday Evening Post pictures, you know. And I mean, it was a bigger book, but he wanted $25 for it. I was like, are you kidding me? 25 bucks? You're a thrift store. Get with it. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Goodwill. I'd rather Salvation Army. We go to Salvation Army a lot compared to Goodwill. Yeah, everything to them is donated. And the problem that I went there a couple weeks ago and they had a storage, like a little shoebox tote, and it was $3.99. I wouldn't pay $4 for it new. But then they had another one on the next shelf for 99 cents, the same exact box. I'm like, some of these people gotta learn what money is because they clearly don't understand what kind of store they are. Yeah, we have some around here, like in the city, that are just outrageous. I do like this picture, but I still want to go over it so that I can write on this page. So I'll just do a light code on this page. Hi, Jilly. I'm using my new camera, so I shouldn't be all wonky today, hopefully. Hopefully I won't be all pixelated. I have an Android phone. Apparently, from the research that I've done, that is a problem with Android phones and live streaming with YouTube or Facebook. It buffers and it pixelates. Enjoy your dinner. I gotta make something. I gotta make something soon too. But I'm not hungry right now. I'm drinking coffee. Keep me wired all night. So yeah, I really went nuts with my signatures. I mean, the book would have ended up being like 200 pages, and you just can't fit that into, you know, a textbook like this. So I really had to cut down on my signatures and reevaluate my life and think about where it was headed. I'm excited though. I'm excited to use this journal. I've never, like I said, I've never made my own journal. So I'm kind of doing this one a little bit different because usually I'd make a whole bunch of pockets and stuff ahead of time, but this time I put all the signatures together and then went through and just kind of winged pockets and tucks. I'm still adding things, you know, I'm still adding tuck spots, but everything I'm doing in here is going to be straight writing space. I'm not adding pretty little tags. I'm not into that stuff. You know, I'm not going to do funky little embellishment things that just take up valuable writing space. So what I did do with the painty papers I made last week is I made these journaling cards so that they open up, you know, and then there's squares on both sides. So I did a whole bunch of them with different colored paper inside of it, you know. And then some of them that I couldn't fold, that were too big if I folded them in half, I just made them one-page little cards, you know. So it's all about writing space for me and places to tuck in little mementos from my day. And then I have these cards that I think come from Walmart or Hobby Lobby. They're almost along the same lines as like a Project Life card. These ones, I have Christmas ones, and then I have not so Christmas ones. But these were given to me in a swap with a woman. So, you know, they have cute, this too shall pass. They have cute little quotes on them. But yeah, I like the idea of the Project Life cards, but I'd rather make my own style. So that's what I'm going to do. It'll be my Project Malia cards. So how are you, Miss Jilly? It's a Logitech one. It was from Amazon. It was $50. It's the C920, I believe. It's a Logitech. If you know, if it works out well, then I'm going to leave a good review for them. What is chalkboard, Jody? I mean, I'm surprised this webcam works with my old laptop, you know, because this laptop's like 8 or 9 years old, because my Apple laptop, the video went, the video card went in my Mac, which I had for 5 or 6 years, but I loved that laptop. So I brought out this old Sony one I had from 2010. I bought it. So it's old and it's slow, you know, but works like a charm. This camera works like a charm with it. See what I mean? This is one of the illustrations from that textbook. Like, how creepy looking are these people? So just going to gesso over those faces, right? Oh, yeah, they feel like chalkboard chip cards. Those would be awesome for journaling cards. Another thing too, this is homemade washi that I made out of masking tape. And I don't like sideways pages in a journal. I like my pages like, you know, like a book. So I pull apart the signatures, which is like really time consuming, you know, because you got to get it just right. But it's really worth it. And the pages that have a little bit of rip from taking apart the signatures, I put masking tape on here. Yeah, paint chips are awesome for like a whole bunch of things. I love using them. I was just in a swap and I made little flags, you know, little triangle flags, and I did them out of paint chips, which looked really, really cute, you know. But yeah, I like to use paint chips for a lot of things. They're fun. And I love the paint names, you know. I love the names of the colors. I always try and include the names in whatever I do. Like I found one the other day that was from Home Depot, and the color was called Frozen Turtle. I was like, how cool is that name, Frozen Turtle? It was almost like a mint color, like a minty sagey color. It's pretty neat, Frozen Turtle. I would paint my house Frozen Turtle. I know, I love the names. Yeah, frozen turtles. Like, what is this? Turtles are my favorite animal. I just fussy cut this out today. It's like bronze bracelet, and it's all little bronzy turtles. So that's going in here for sure. Oh, really? Where would you find those? Hey, Cheryl. I'm going to do some sewing in this, but I don't have my sewing machine in here yet. So I'm trying to get it to the point where I'm going to have everything ready to sew, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to store my sewing machine in this mess that I call a craft space. You know, I'm so limited on space in here that it does sound like an awesome dessert. Yeah, maybe I'll check at Lowe's. Lowe's has pretty pictures on the backs of their paint cards. What's the matter? On the backs of their paint samples, they have some nice pictures on them. How you making that out there? Huh? Okay.
On with somebody?
Yeah, I have my new camera set up. Come see. Come look. See? Look at how nice the video is.
What are you taping something?
Yeah, I'm on live.
Oh.
No, Julie, I got your I saw your comment. No, I reorganized my craft space based on some videos I saw by Shannon Green. So the video that I posted was my new organizing techniques to try and make the most out of the little corner I have to work in, you know. Yeah, Cheryl, my craft space is also my daughter's bedroom, which is also her playroom. And it has a couch in here because this room is technically supposed to be a living room. So in the process of remodeling, this is gesso. This is Martha Stewart gesso. I've never owned gesso before, but this was $2 at Joann's one time, so I picked it up. But I feel like it's really thick. I feel like gesso isn't supposed to be very thick. I feel like it's supposed to be a thinner, you know, medium, like an actual primer. And this is almost like paint. Like a very matte paint is what this stuff reminds me of. You know, but I looked at the reviews on it, and the only bad reviews were the price, because it's a small bottle. But yeah, I figured that's why it was on clearance. It must be old, because it's chunky. You know, it's like, I don't know if you could tell, but it's like chunky, you know? Oh, I know, Jilly. She really is. Like, I go nuts watching her channel. Hold on, ladies. I'm being paged from the other room. Yeah, Maddie, I'm assuming that it's supposed to be thin like that, because gesso is supposed to just be a primer. But this stuff's like really thick, this Martha Stewart. If you can find it, which I haven't been able to, so they must have discontinued it. But look at Joann's, because that's where I found this, and it was on clearance there. Ooh, look at that, a chip. You want a chip? You want a chip? Yeah, how about we play over here? Hmm? Yeah, she might. Here's your chip. Yeah, I'll do that, Jody. I just won't do it on these pages, because these are textbook pages. They're pretty thin. And I picture the water would just kind of tear at it. Yeah, tell me about it, Cheryl. I might attempt to make my own the next time around once I use up this stuff. I might just make my own. Last night I was in here, I had the baby on the floor. You know, she's 6 months old. She just started officially like moving. She's on the go. And oh my gosh, she was into everything. She was under my craft table. She was into wires. She was trying to eat the wood stove. I was like, oh boy, this kid's going to give me a run for my money. Yeah, I'm going to try this stuff on some magazine pages too, because I've got some magazine pages I want to add to it. So see how that works out, you know. But I'm gessoing because I does anybody have any luck writing on gesso? I haven't seen anybody that had much luck writing on gesso. Because I can't write on it, then I'm just going to glue stuff to it so that I can write on it. I might go ahead and start adding a couple more things. I got this envelope die too that I completely forgot that I got. But I think, you know, because you got to hide that stuff from your husband. So I'm going to make a couple of envelopes out of magazine pages for this journal. See, like there were some poems in that textbook. So I'm going to use some of the poems. Yeah, I saw somebody say Sharpies, which I had thought of, you know, I had thought to try. So maybe I'll try doing Sharpies. I had a page I wanted to add something to, and I don't know which signature it's in. But I kind of been going through all of my magazine cutouts and seeing like which pictures really speak to me, you know. And I got a handful of them that I'm going to add. I like this picture of this old building. It's got some old bikes out front. I have an envelope in here that I made a while back, you know. Yeah, maybe I'll use Sharpie. I even have some of those like thinner Sharpie pens. Maybe those would be easy to write with. I'm trying to find a page I did. I have some neat little envelopes. I have some greeting cards that came with these. So I added some of these envelopes. I'll decorate these. You know, so I'm really like doing things backwards in this book. I'm really trying to I'm really adding things first and decorating later. Usually I have envelopes and everything already decorated and ready to go, but I'm kind of just going with whatever feels right in this one. Ah, Cheryl, if you have not followed Shannon Green yet, you have no idea what you're in for. I binge watched when I first started all this mess, I binge watched all her videos in like 2 days. I went nuts with Shannon Green videos. This was a postcard that I got in a big box of ephemera. This was actually sent to someone. I ripped the half off with the stamp because I liked the stamp. So I was left with like this piece. So I was like, screw it. I just ripped the rest of it and put it on there. I'm kind of trying to, you know, junk this up. See, look at creepy looking people in here. I'm really trying to make this junky, you know, so I have a big box of trashy stuff that I'm adding. Oh, see, I think this was the signature. This was part of this one. So I have this box here of crap. You know, this is like packaging stuff. I'm adding that. Yeah, Shannon's Journal by Fives is awesome. If I was big into the art journaling thing, I would definitely do that. But I'm really just like into journaling and collaging. Art has never resonated with me, the art journal side of things. This was a bridge scoreboard deck that I had. I didn't like the front of it, so I just used the back of it to make a tuck. And it's also some journaling space. So, I mean, I'm really trying to maximize this for space. I'm really trying to get the most out of it that I can. This is a composition book. I took it apart. I ripped out the threads, you know. So I have a bunch of these little, where am I on camera here? I took little flowery things and fussy cut them out this morning. Sparklers package I put on here for a little tuck. And like all these I'm going to sew. And I'm going to sew a lot of my page edges to look nice. Sew a bunch of lace. This picture is why I decided to use this book. I love this picture. The cute little poem that goes with it. The picture on the back side, you know, it's got some swans and it's got people, but it's all colored. It's all done in dots, you know, and I love that. I mean, look at it. It's like all dotty. So this page was why I decided to use this book. And this was a cover from an art book I found. But I was working on a signature a little while ago and I just sewed a page and I want to know where that page is so I can add the picture I was going to add to it. I just looked through that one. Yeah, isn't that pretty? I really liked that page. I really liked that picture. Where is that page I was going to glue? See, I have this picture and I had put it aside so that I can glue it onto the page I was working on. Oh, I found a catalog, people. If anybody is into magazine and catalog ephemera, this one here, Olive and Cocoa. You can't see it because they stamped the postage right on it. Here it is. I found this, I think her name, I'm so bad with names. Olive and Cocoa. See, it's got great women pictures in it. I believe her name is Tammy Ward. Does that sound familiar to anyone? She had mentioned that catalog. She had done a junkie journal. And she had used images from that catalog, which I thought the girls were just adorable. So I went and ordered it, and it came in like less than a week, which was awesome. Helps me with my impatience, you know. Let's see. I have an art book from the Boston Art Museum, and this page came out of it. And then I used, if anybody here is in the Crafting Mamas group, Patricia Beauchamp, she sent me all kinds of nice washi tape on this medical fabric tape. So guess what I did? I used that to reinforce my page. So I have part of Trish with me on here. I don't know what happened to that page I was doing that I wanted to glue that onto. I'm going to have to find another page, I guess, to glue it onto. I don't know what I want to do, though. Vera May is saying hi to everybody. She's over here talking. All right, I'll find another page. One of my blank ones that I just all right, honey. Have fun. I could put it on this one. I just really like the picture, you know. And another thing I've been doing too, oh, maybe it's in this one. I have been I've been using double-sided tape. Yeah, see, this is the page I wanted to put it on. I'm using double-sided tape on most of the things with these thinner pages because, you know, the gesso makes it bubble, makes it ripply. And so glue stick would definitely make it ripply, you know. That's upside down. Glue stick would definitely make it ripply, so I've been using double-sided tape, which has been working out very nicely. Even though I don't have like one of those cool tape dispensers, I have to do this the long way. But I don't even usually cover the whole picture. I usually just cover part of it. You know, because how much abuse is this image going to get? You know, it doesn't need to be hurricane proof down, right? So usually, like on a picture like this, I just put 3 strips, which might even be more than some people would put. But I do like making journals that can take a beating. Who are you talking to over there? You talking to your chip? What, do you got a block? Oh, you got food. Careful. My husband just went over to my neighbor's. My neighbor is 93. He's going to be 93 in a couple of weeks. And he found some rotted boards on his porch. So today he is replacing those boards. 93. Still cuts his own lawn. Goes to church every Sunday right up the road here. Does all of his own stuff. His daughter and grandson live right next door, and his daughter does, like, you know, his grocery shopping and stuff for him, but he does all his own stuff. So, I mean, I thought, and he is so sweet, and he just loves the girls. He just loves my girls so much. They call him Grandpa James. Well, Lily does anyway. Vera May right now just calls everyone, but Lily calls him Grandpa James. He gets her a little something every year for Christmas, you know, cute little toy. Last year for her birthday, he has chickens. He has those little chickens, the bantams. He gave her a handful of his chickens. So he's a real sweetheart. He really is. We're lucky to have him as our neighbor. Thanks for coming, Maddie. I hope that it cleared up for you a little bit. I'm sure I'll see you in somebody else's live stream tonight. I think Melissa's on tonight at the Flock there, 70-acre studio. But thanks for joining me. Yeah, I got to get dinner going in a minute anyway. So that's probably what I'll be doing too. Well, it's nice to have most of my pages gessoed here, so I don't have to, I'm just kind of gessoing them now as I go through my other magazine images and see what else I want to add. What you got? You got a spoon? I hope you can hear my wonderful 6-month-old singing to you back here while she chews on the end of a wooden spoon. Earlier, I go to get her out of her crib, and she had started to unravel one of my mom's crocheted blankets. So that blanket's going to have to go because I definitely don't trust if that one thread is, undone, then I definitely don't trust that the rest of it's, going to be okay. So I'm probably just going to unravel it, and I'll use the yarn in my crafty stuff. Right? That's what us crafters do. We take things apart and we use them. Welcome back, Jody. I'm still just, yep. I'm still just gessoing and adding pictures as I find them that I like. I decided that I'm not going to add pictures to the blank pages. I'm only going to add them to my book pages because it'll serve two purposes. It'll reinforce the book page, and it'll also give me the blank pages for some writing space. I'm going to get some, maybe my next live stream. I'm not geared up to do it right now because I've got all my junk boxes sitting out, but my next live stream, I might go ahead and start some new journaling cards. I bought some watercolor paper I'm excited to play with. I've never played around with watercolor paper. I was given some, but I didn't. I'm afraid to use it because, it's the only stuff I had, but now I'll use it for sure. Now that I bought a couple of pads of 12 pages. But I have these things. I went to this site called Mingo, M-I-N-G-O, and requested some of their paper pack samples. And they sent me a ton of advertising stuff. Some of it I threw out, which I wish now I didn't, because I would have added it to this, I would have added it to a junky journal, But I went and I threw it out. Not all of it, I just threw some of it out when I was cleaning my craft room because I didn't have a whole lot of space. But they send you these, paper samples, and they come in this little pack like this. I took out the glossy ones because I'm not going to write on glossy paper. But this little screw comes unscrewed. So I'm going to put these in my purse so I can use them to write on when I'm, on the go, and it's got some parrot pictures. I got some colored papers, and then I could just punch holes in little cards and add them to the screw and keep taking them with me, which I thought was neat. So I also got that free little, because I was going to use a ring and keep some cards in my purse. But then I realized that I had those paper samples and that it did that, and that I had that little screw, so I got it for free. I don't even have to look for a ring from a binder. So I was pretty excited about that. Okay. That's got a nice thin coat. I have this cowboy picture too, and I'm not too crazy about that picture. Mingo. Let me see if I can find the logo thing for you. Here, I'll write it in the chat so you can. I just Googled it. Mingo. I just ordered all of their paper, their whole selection of paper samples. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining me. I'm just gessoing and adding some stuff to my signatures as I go. But I was telling them about Mingo. So I got this paper sample pack from them, and it has a whole bunch of their samples. I took out the glossy ones because I don't like to write on glossy paper. But this has like some nice samples in it. And I'm going to put this in my purse and write on these when I'm, out. This screw comes off. So I can punch a hole in the paper and add it right to this little screw instead of using like a ring from like a 3-ring binder. I'll just use this screw. And it came for free from Mingo. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Mingo Bell. You're a Mingo Bell. But I'm going to cover up this page here. I could have sent this to Mary Forrester if she's going to make another cowboy journal. Sounds like she has plenty for another cowboy journal. And this isn't exactly a nice picture. That textbook had some ugly pictures in it, I'll tell you. But all right, Julie, thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, Lil, you're missing Elmo in there. What? You're missing Elmo. Oh. I'm coming. Make sure your Play-Doh's put away if you're not going to play Play-Doh anymore. It's not ready. Okay, good job. So yeah, I suggest if you like paper, that Mingo has some cool samples. I like their samples. And this was like junk. This here came from a Tim Holtz embossing folder that I got at Tuesday Morning. So this is like just junk in here that I'm putting. Things that I, could use in this. Things that would be good in a junky journal. Since apparently my journal is going to be mostly that. Junky. But I'm kind of like reserved to go into my junk stash too, because I have some old packaging in there, from like ribbon and things I found. And I mean, if you collect vintage junk like I do, you know that is hard to collect a stash of old junk. So I'm kind of like hesitant to use it, even though I haven't used it yet. So I might as well just put it in my journal. But, I'm kind of thinking twice about some of the stuff. I might need it someplace else, but I'm not gonna. So what is everyone's plans for the evening? Anything exciting? Working on anything good? This gesso does dry pretty quick, so I guess I'm pretty impressed with the dry time on it compared to, you know, paint, which I don't usually use anyway. Oh, okay, Kathy. If I don't see you back here, then I'm sure I'll see you someplace else soon. I think this too is a hard time for people to get on live streams because it's like, you know, a lot of people have dinner and but I have, this was a book cover, this Homer Winslow, and it's got a nice texture to it. It had some gorgeous paintings in it, gorgeous black and white paintings. So I took the cover since the size was perfect. I only had to shave a little bit of it off to fit in that book. And then inside I'm going to sew, it had these little flaps, so I'm going to sew them. I used a washi tape that kind of matched the green to reinforce that because it was kind of thin. And it was starting to come apart. So I'm going to sew this so I got big pockets to put large, index cards, because I got a bunch of those too that I'm going to decorate for journaling cards too, I think. I might not decorate them too heavily though. I might stick to like more sorry, I lost my train of thought. Just colors, maybe just watercolor. Use some watercolors on it. Oh, Jody, that's awesome. A lot of people seem to be working on mermaid stuff. I guess it's the summer, the summer season makes everybody feel like a mermaid. That's great, though. I'm sure that she will cherish that journal her whole life, and hopefully she writes the most special things in it. I feel like maybe it's just me as a writer. I feel like one of the most precious gifts anybody can give to their children or to their family is a story, whether it be photographs or, journals. And when I was out in my storage trailer the other day, I found some old journals of mine, specifically the year my dad died, the year he got sick. And I realized that I pretty much documented the whole time. I pretty much documented his entire illness, my relationship with him, which grew, enormously during his illness, and how I felt about it. And I'm so glad I kept it, because that's something I'm going to cherish. And that's something I want to give my girls, so that they can know who was, and they can see, my relationship with him and the way I felt about it. I feel like that's very special. I feel like homemade things and something that tells a story. So now your granddaughter is going to have this gorgeous mermaid journal that was made by her grandmother that she'll have long after you're gone. She'll have it long, forever. Oh, that's going to be gorgeous, Jody. What a terrific idea. What a great idea. That's going to be so perfect. I am sure that she is going to cherish that. I feel like those are just the types of things those are the best gifts you can give, is something that can be cherished. something that can be held on to, you know, not a gift card, not a cell phone, but something real, something that really tells you a story. I don't know if I want to use glue on this one. I'm going to come back to that one. What a great idea. What a great idea. When my girls get a little bit older, I'll probably do something similar for them or have them make one with me, you know. I think would be fun. But what a beautiful gift to give. Some kind of an album, something concrete, you know, they can hold it. They can look through it. They can remember, you know. I'm at a loss as to what I want to do in some of these pages. Make a tuck spot in this corner with this. I think the hard part about doing stuff like that is kids in today's society just don't seem to care about that, you know, about sentimentality anymore. All they care about is phones and technology. And, you know, that's why I'm trying to raise my girls to be, I'm raising them a little old fashioned. You know, I'm trying to be up with the times, but I'm not going to spoil my kids and let them use phones all the time. Oh, that's great. I'm sure they loved, I'm sure that that's, you know, the memories that your grandchildren are going to have doing that stuff with you, you know. That's going to be there forever. That's going to be with them forever. I mean, I remember the stuff that my grandmother did with us when we were kids. And I mean, I still remember, you know, a lot of it. Cooking together and all kinds of stuff. You don't that stuff, you know. This I should probably put on a heavier piece of paper. Yeah, that's like what it's like in my house, Jody. My daughter has my 4-year-old is using one of my old phones. Like it's not active or anything, but she uses it on Wi-Fi and she has like YouTube Kids on there. And there's some games on there, you know, but she uses it until the battery dies and the battery is old. So she uses that phone for like an hour until the battery dies. Sometimes she can get 2 hours out of it if she's not online. And that's it. That's all she gets. Once the battery dies, she's done for the day. And that's even that's only on the day she uses it. Sometimes she doesn't even get it, you know, or sometimes she doesn't want to use it. Sometimes she's doing something else, you know. But like if I'm on YouTube and her dad's on YouTube and we're all kind of just chilling out for the night, we'll let her use the phone. But if it's playtime or it's go outside time, then that's it. It's playtime. There's no phones. There's nothing. You know, she's in there right now playing with Play-Doh. And I turned Sesame Street on. And that's, you know, that's what she's doing right now. And she's watching Sesame Street. You know, she's not watching like some kind of stupid show. Which she does like those stupid shows too. But I have like a thing on my computer. It keeps coming up with pop-ups. No, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And that's the way, you know, and that's the way it should be. And they should enjoy it. My highlight of my life was going to my grandmother's or going to my aunt's or, you know, going to do something. Like that was the highlight of my week. I'm very lucky that my daughter loves playing outside. She loves being, you know, outdoors. She loves doing stuff with her dad, you know, and he's always working on something. She loves doing painting with me, doing crafty stuff, you know. So she could live without the technology. I don't know what I don't know what this little one's going to be like. She's going to give me a run for my money, this one. Oh, I misjudged that one. Hi, Clara. That's okay. I can trim this paper down. But you definitely have the right idea, Jody. Leave the phones and spend some time with your family. I mean, I know some people's kids, they can't even, you can't take them anywhere or do anything with them without some kind of phone or something. Wow, that's like the ideal family. My father was big into wood crafting. I have a couple of cabinets that he made. He did some beautiful work. He did some gorgeous work. You know, unfortunately, most of that work is in an old house that we sold, but at least I have some of his stuff, you know. I have some of the things that he made so that I can hold on to little pieces of him. How are you today, Miss Clara? I love your name. That was on my short list. That was on my short list for my second daughter until we decided to name her after my mother-in-law. I'm doing pretty good today. Doing pretty good. Got some stuff done outside. Got a new camera to play with. So, you know, now just chilling out, thinking about what I'm going to make for supper tonight. And working on my journal. Just an easygoing day today. Which is perfect because I live in the South and everybody down here is easygoing. There's no use stressing out. My husband put brakes and tires on my truck this morning, so that's one more thing out of the way. We're going to be making a trip back home to Massachusetts next month. And he hasn't decided if he wants to take my truck or his truck. I hope he takes mine because his is very bumpy and uncomfortable. So he wanted to get my truck ready. I'm in North Carolina, Jody. I'm originally from Massachusetts. We moved down here. We bought the house 4 years ago, and we moved down here about 3 years ago. I bought the house we bought this house just after I had my firstborn. And she was a year when we moved down. Still needs a lot of work. We were in Michigan, actually. I was in Michigan about a year ago. My husband bought a potato digger. I forget the name of the town, but it's just north of, not just north, but it's a city, like the next big city north of Detroit. Wow, Jody, you've been everywhere. What was that? Oh.
Told me one of those days.
Yep.
You want?
Yep. Michigan has some pretty lousy highways. I don't know much about the state, but their roads are pretty rough when we were driving. I'm going to make something. Massachusetts has horrible roads. Probably as bad as the ones we were on in Michigan. Yeah, I mean, I know one guy, he drives truck and he's from Michigan, and he says that he will not deliver or do work in Michigan. He only works outside of Michigan. I was like, wow, that's some pretty lousy driving if you won't even do business in your own state. My husband, though, he's one of those guys that he drives wherever to buy things. Like, we bought a motor. He owns a Model T. And we went to Kansas to buy a motor for it. When we lived in Massachusetts, he drove to Colorado to buy his pickup truck. He just loves to drive. He just loves to go. All the street names around here are like the same. All of the street names in my area have to do with 3 or 4 names, and that's it. Like, I'm out here in the sticks. Like, I live on Moyer Farm Road, and down the street is Moyer Martin Road. It's like everybody's name. You work on vehicles? You go, girl. That is awesome. That's my husband's the same way. He was a mechanic by trade. Now he just works on my truck and complains about it all the time, right, honey?
Yes, dear.
He's always complaining about my truck. Damn Chevrolets.
What are you doing for supper?
I'm going to make one of those things in the freezer to go with the chicken. Well, ladies, I suppose I should get off of here and go make supper, since everybody is starving to death in my house. But I'm glad you all joined me with my new camera. I will, I'll definitely be doing this again soon, now that now that I know that it was my phone and not my internet. But I'm very glad that you joined me to work on my journal. It was very nice chatting with you all too. I hope you join me again soon. Maybe next time I'll be working on some journaling cards and doing some watercolors. And maybe I'll come up with some kind of schedule sometime in the future to be on here. Not right now because I have 2 small kids and they don't give me any kind of a schedule. But someday, if you stick with me, maybe I'll make it worth it. But I hope everybody has a good night. And sorry it was kind of boring. Oh, thanks, Clara. Yeah, I go live at random times. Usually I try and do it in the afternoon when, you know, people are napping and I don't have to cook dinner. And then I try and do it until I have to cook dinner. So maybe I'll get on again this week and we can hang out again. But thanks, Jody and Clara. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.